What's up, everybody? I just finished the Surf City Huntington Beach Marathon of 2024. So we're going to talk about it a little bit in this video. So to begin the day, I was kind of worried. I'm 40 years old. My knees aren't that great. I didn't train too much going into it. I did some hikes, some long hikes. I did do some strength training on my legs, and I ran only 5 miles, the max run, which isn't good. Most people don't say you shouldn't do that, right? But I went in it anyhow, and I worried about it a lot. Thought my knees were going to give out, and we will talk about that. But to begin the day, I actually started running. I was doing a slow jog, a slow pace. It was really beautiful in the morning. There was a beautiful sunrise coming up. We were actually running away from the sunrise, so you couldn't really see it unless you turned around, but it was very beautiful. And we just started running. So for the first mile, I was good. I was pretty good. My knees were doing well. I was just on a slow jog, slow impact. And then we went on to the next couple miles, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You actually turn off. So you're just running up and down basically Pacific Coast Highway, but around like mile 4 or 5, I think it was, you make a right and you head over to the preserve. And that was pretty cool running through the preserve. You didn't get the view of the beach anymore, but you got some of the preserve, some of the water there. There were some ducks, and it was pretty cool right there, right? And, the marathon was awesome. You get out of the preserve, and then you go back to the beach. And then right when I started going back to the beach is when people started passing me from the half marathon, because the full marathon actually started before the half marathon. But, I'm kind of old and slow. So when the half marathon, the good runners, they just started passing me up right after we got out of the preserve. And that was pretty cool to see those guys just killing it, man. These guys are awesome. And then after that, we went back on Pacific Coast Highway, started heading back west and up the Pacific Coast Highway. I think that's actually north. But so we started heading up there, and there was a lot of cool signs. There was a really funny one I seen that said, Brock Purdy can make it to the Super Bowl. You could run a marathon. That was pretty hilarious. And there was also a lot of cool people there running. There was a guy actually, since today was February 4th, 24, he was saying it was Kobe Day. So he was literally bouncing a basketball the whole entire time he ran the marathon, which is pretty cool. Just honoring Kobe and just the extra challenge of not just running a marathon, but actually bouncing a basketball as well. So the signs were cool. The people were cool. And, around mile 13, I was doing pretty good, running around a 12-minute pace. And that's when it actually started getting difficult. My left knee started going out a little bit. It started getting a lot of pain in it. It felt like it was about to pop or something. So that really worried me. And I actually sat down, put a knee sleeve on, and that knee sleeve actually did put enough support onto my knee. I did a lot of stretching and stuff like that in the middle of the marathon and just kept running. And so I was a little bit, it was a lot harder then. That's when it started getting really hard, around mile 13, after basically a half a marathon. So, I was kind of like walking a little bit then, hobbling a little bit, but I just had to push through. So I kept jogging a little bit, just a little bit of time walking, jogging a little bit, walking. And finally, you go all the way up, I think, north of Pacific Coast Highway, and you turn back around and you go back down south, and then you go back up, and then you go back down, right? So when we finally went back on the last, we split up from the half marathon. They go straight towards the finish line. We turn back around and go up again for another 5 miles, and then back down another 5 miles. That up 5 miles the wind was at your back. So you're kind of getting that back going. But I was a back wind going, and I was kind of just rolling along there, kind of walking a little bit, jogging a little bit here and there, trying to save my knees. And then we turned around and started heading back towards the wind. And that's when, it got a little bit harder too, because now you're going against the wind. And the wind made it like a resistant band. It was kind of hard to do that. And that's when I started I was got a little bit of wind. There's 5 miles to go then. Started heading back down. I did 1 mile, so there's 4 miles to go. And then I just started getting another level. Even though I was in pain, I was in so much pain at this time. Everything was kind of hurting, especially my knees and my ankles. But I got another wind. I just started seeing the people in front of me, and I was like, I'm just start picking them off. And I just started jogging, even though it was so much pain. I was just not thinking about it. Just bam, bam, picking off one person, seeing another person down the line, pick him off, see another person down the line, pick her off. I was just picking one by one off. And that actually got me to keep going and just have that motivation. And I also kind of noticed too, around 4 miles to go, 5 miles ago, that I was going to make it under 6 hours if I sped it up a little bit. And I was trying to finish this in 6 hours and 30 minutes. That's when they cut off the marathon. It started at 6:30 and they were going to end it at 1:15. So I wanted to, finish it by then. But I was just like, I seen it, I could do it within 6 hours. So I started pushing. And I started pushing there. And I actually got it done in 5 hours and 50 minutes and 7 seconds, which is amazing. I can't believe I did that. Next time I ever do a marathon, I'm going to train a little bit more so I even try to beat that time. Because the first time I ever did one, it was at 7 hours and 45 minutes. So I basically got 2 hours better. But yeah, I was in so much pain, started picking them off. There was a couple people that at the very end, like at the very, very end, let's say the last half mile, I was just, before that, around 4 miles before that, I was picking these people off. I was running with extreme pain in my legs. And when it was a half mile to go, I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I have to walk. So I was just walking and I started getting picked off by the people behind me. So it was brutal then and there. There was a couple things of entertainment there. There was a couple bands playing. There was a surf band playing. That was awesome. They were just like playing surfer music, like the West Coast style. That was pretty cool. And there was a lot of volunteers there giving out Gatorade and water. And they also gave out a few gel packets. There was a little bit of people, not very many, handing out like bananas and grapes and oranges. So that was cool too. But that last half mile, I was just in so much pain, hobbling along. I'm just gonna walk it. And I knew I had like 12, 13 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that before it was gonna get 6 hours. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk it. So I started walking there, and at the very end, I seen the finish line. I just got so happy and seeing the finish line there. I'm like, oh, there it is, the finish line. I'm so happy. And you got to go across the finish line, at least jogging, right? So even that last little bit at the finish line, boom, I started jogging again. I was in so much pain. I'm just like, I got to do it. I got to go. I was going right there, just jogging into the finish line. And then I finished. I was finished, and oh man, it was such an accomplishment. I literally got emotional. I kind of teared up a little bit there, like not a lot, kind of choked up a little bit. I didn't like start crying or anything, just like a tear came down just because I was just like, oh man, just so much pain. And it's like such an accomplishment. That was the crazy part I didn't expect really. I was just like, just so much pain. And I couldn't believe it. It was probably the hardest thing I ever did. I did a marathon before. I took it kind of slower. So that was probably why I was pushing this one so hard. And I just started getting a little emotional. Just, I've been kind of like down lately just for kind of feel alone a little bit. And just, I did this alone. I'm glad to have all my people on social media to help me out with a lot of things, but I don't know. It just been, maybe it's wintertime and I don't know. I just feel a little bit down. We all get that way, right? We're humans. And it's just kind of, everything just got to me at that point. And I was just like, damn, man, it was just crazy at that point. But I was just so happy I finished, I finished. I was super happy. And I got an awesome medal. The medal looked really cool. It was a longboard because of Huntington Beach. I love Huntington Beach. It's one of my favorite cities. And you could just see everyone's faces on their everybody was in pain, not just me. Everyone that was sitting there, just like, man, that person's in pain. You could just tell. Running a marathon is no joke. It is very hard. And I'm just glad that, I did it and finished it, because I was thinking about not even doing it. I was kind of just like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do it, right? And, so I got, my max heartbeat was like, I got all the way up to 181. The average heartbeat was at 148, just an average heartbeat going for fucking 6 hours, right? I burned about 4,700 calories, and I had 52,147 steps. The elevation gain throughout the whole thing was 1,291 elevation gain. And that was pretty much it. It was an experience. And then I left and I had a burrito. It was a pretty good burrito. And filled me back up there. And then I came home, and when I got out of the car, I could barely walk. I literally had to hold the side of the door and just like pull myself up all slow, and just because when I got my knees down, I was like, oh man, they just feel like they're not working anymore. And I just kind of got up, and it took me a while just to actually get on my legs. And then I just take that first step. I couldn't even take that first step. It was just crazy. And just kind of like walking slowly into the house. And it was hard to even get in the room. And so definitely going to have to recover for the next few days. It takes about 3 or 4 days to do that. But everything hurts. My toes hurt, my ankles hurt, my knees hurt. You got a little bit of chub rub, TMI. But yeah, I got my side was hurting too, just like running, like just the muscles and my shoulders. Like when I was eating that burrito, I couldn't even like bend my head down because my shoulder was hurting so much. And it was just insane. But it was an awesome day, just a great accomplishment. Only 0.5% of the people in America have done a marathon, and a fraction of that have done two. So it's an elite club there I'm in, I guess. You know, I don't know if I'm going to do another one. I think I am next year. Maybe just do one a year to see how my progress is. But you know, I kind of enjoy hiking, like going to the gym. But I definitely got to strengthen out my calves and my hamstrings more this year before I get into another marathon, because that will definitely help me get a faster time and also help out with the knee pain. But all in all, that was a very beautiful day. I love the beach. I love Huntington Beach, one of the greatest places in America, and especially in SoCal. If you ever down in SoCal, definitely go visit that beach. It's an awesome beach. It's very good for tourists as well. And yeah, just that's pretty much it. And it wraps up the review of the Huntington Beach Marathon. And if you guys ran it and you're watching this video, you know, post in the comments, DM me, let's connect, you know, let's follow each other or something, like, because it's awesome just to have people to do that, because it is very tough. And if you did something like that, I definitely want to follow you. So, all right, guys, that's the end of this video and the review. I'm SoCal Gula 8, you know, SoCal Gula 8, you know, SoCal, SoCal, Gula, Goulah 8. Just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, X, YouTube, subscribe. I have a channel there, or on what is it, TikTok too. I don't go on that one that much though. Follow me there, like and subscribe, you know, or whatever you guys got to do. And hope you enjoyed this video. All right, guys, till the next video. Peace out.